to the third class for the week. The theme of the week is respecting our boundaries, and this is the meditation and breathwork class. So whenever we do seated meditation or breathwork, it's a nice idea to set yourself up in a position so that your knees are slightly lower than the front hip points, so than the front of your pelvis. And then also adjust your pelvis so that it's neither tilted very far forward or rounding back in the space behind you. So you want a middle tilt, a neutral pelvic position so that your low back is nice and flat. Once you have your legs set up, and you can relax them with the knees lower than the pelvis, and once your pelvic tilt is neutral, it should feel relatively easy to lift your spine up out of your pelvis and then relax your shoulders. It doesn't matter if you're sitting cross-legged or if you're even sitting on a chair with maybe some extra elevation under your sit bones, or you can be sitting across a bolster like I am. And I have a little bit of extra elevation under the bolster so that it's tilting downward. So I just have a block sitting underneath the bolster there. Okay, so finding your comfortable seat is a really important part of being able to sustain and learn to enjoy a meditation practice. So I'd encourage you to play around with lots of different postures. And another thing that's really helpful is if you're in a position like me and your legs are quite far away from where your hands would naturally rest, if your shoulders are relaxed, then it might be good to have some extra support underneath your forearms so that you can have your shoulders as relaxed as they can be, shoulder blades on the back, chest nice and open, without forcing anything and without needing to round the shoulders forward to rest the arms. Okay. Once you've found your body position that you'll be able to maintain for about 20 more minutes, you can close your eyes and come to your breath. And what I mean by that is feel the breath. So how does it feel for air to enter your nose, travel through your sinuses and throat and down into your chest? How does it feel? So that's not a question that you need to answer with the mind. I'm just asking you to physically feel the sensations of cool air entering the body, warm air leaving the body. And trace each breath with your awareness. See if you can give the breath your undivided attention. Let your thoughts recede so that the spotlight of your attention is focused on the breath. And other things might come and go in the background, but anytime your mind wanders away and you notice that it's wandered away, see if you can invite it back to the physical sensation of breathing. And in both our flow class and our yin class this week, we have been working with a 3-part breath. So as you inhale, invite your breath all the way down to fill up your belly. Imagine you could breathe into your abdomen. So inhaling, fill the belly. Once the belly's full, fill the chest in all 3 dimensions. Once the chest is full, fill the throat and collarbones. And then smoothly transition to the out breath, emptying the throat and collarbones, the chest, and the belly, completely exhaling. And then straight away, inhaling again, so we make nice smooth transitions between the in and out breath. Deepening the breath and slowing it right down. So if you feel lightheaded at all, that's an invitation to make your breath cycle even slower. So you can control the flow of breath so that the inhale takes longer and the exhale takes longer, and there's less air moving through your airways at any given time. Really pushing the air up and out until you're feeling empty, and then without pausing for now, filling the body up with air again from the belly to the chest to the throat. And now to our 3-part breath, we'll begin adding some breath retention. And this is where awareness of your boundaries will be put into practice. So everyone will be approaching this class with different experience levels, different fitness levels of the lungs. Now is your chance to tune in, and your breath retention might be half a second. Your breath retention might be 10 seconds at the top and the bottom of the breath. Feeling your own boundaries and respecting your boundaries is part of the practice of nonviolence. So ahimsa, nonviolence, is a core tenet of yoga as a philosophy. We don't want to push into our boundaries. So we always want to observe wherever our boundaries are on a given day, in a given set of circumstances, and wisely, mindfully play just on this side of the boundaries. And that's where learning occurs, that's where growth occurs. If we're too far removed, too conservative away from that line of discomfort, then we won't grow. We'll always be playing in our comfort zone. But if we're constantly pushing and barging through our boundaries, we'll injure ourselves. Or we're going to do something that's damaging to our soul or mind, or could be scarring. So this exercise is about you figuring out where your boundaries are and then just tiptoeing up towards them, backing off, playing with that line for yourself. So closing your eyes down again, we'll add in some breath retention at the top and the bottom of our 3-part breath. So with your next in-breath, fill your belly, fill your chest, fill your throat. And then keeping the throat relaxed and open, just retain the breath at the top by stopping the inhale and not allowing the exhale to begin again yet. So without straining the neck, without adding in your energetic locks, just pause the breath. And then again, playing with that sort of 70 to 80% of your edge. So once it's just feeling slightly challenging for the lungs, that's when you start the smooth, controlled exhalation. If you feel that you're forcing yourself or that you need to rush the exhalation, then you've held your breath too long. So release the breath from the throat, the chest, and the belly. And at the bottom of the out-breath, rest for a moment without beginning the in-breath straight away. So again, we don't want to force or strain. Just allow there to be a pause. And when you're ready, starting your in-breath again. belly, chest, throat. And if you're gulping for air, that means that the retention was too long. So we want it to be smooth and controlled. And when you're ready, exhaling. Try to make the intensity of each phase of breath equivalent. So the beginning of the inhale is similar in intensity to the middle and the end of the inhale. And the intensity of the exhale is the same at the beginning, middle, and end. Check that you're completely exhaling. And double check that there's no tension in the throat as you're holding. Let's take 2 more of these breaths with retentions at the top and the bottom. And rather than thinking of them as retentions, think of them as pauses. Pauses in the breath cycle. Staying relaxed as you pause. And now we add to this 3-part breath with retention. We add alternate nostril breathing. So we'll breathe in and out 10 times through the left nostril first, and then in and out 10 times through the right nostril with our 3-part breath awareness and retentions. So you can bring your left hand into Chin Mudra or Yana Mudra, like an OK sign, and then rest the left hand down either on your prop under your arm or down on your leg. Bring your right hand into Vishnu Mudra with the index and middle fingers extended. Your thumb, ring finger, and pinky finger are out to the side. Place the extended fingers in the center of your forehead and close your eyes. Use your right thumb to block off your right nostril. Completely empty your body of breath. Pause. And then begin inhaling through the left nostril, belly, chest, throat. Pause at the top of the breath, and then when you're ready, exhaling, throat, chest, belly. Pause at the bottom. And we take 10 cycles of breath like this. Controlling the flow of breath so that it's even, slow, relaxing during the pauses. No tension in the throat or the diaphragm. you might notice your own tendencies during this exercise. So you might notice that you tend to try to push yourself too far. Maybe you're feeling lightheaded. Maybe you are having to gasp for air. Or maybe you notice your tendency to be distracted, having a hard time focusing. Or maybe not leaning into your edge, staying well within your comfort zone without challenging yourself at all. So just notice what your automatic patterns are without judging them, and see if you can direct your effort to balanced, slow, controlled, mindful breath, relaxed breath. Once you've finished your 10 breaths, lower your right hand. Keep your eyes closed. Relax your efforts so that your breath returns to natural. No retentions. Let the breath do what it likes for a few rounds. You might wiggle your shoulders or relax your jaw. Just notice if any tension has crept into the body during that exercise. And take a moment to acknowledge your own boundaries and what your habit pattern is in relation to those boundaries in this circumstance. And accept whatever you see. So there's no need to berate yourself or say you should or shouldn't be a certain way. So this is about learning, exploring. And then we prepare to do our alternate nostril 3-part breath with retentions on the other side. So breathing in and out through the right nostril. So you can bring your right hand into Chin Mudra, place it on your leg. Bring your left hand into Vishnu Mudra and place the extended fingers in the center of your forehead. And just a note about this left shoulder, as much as you can, see if you can relax the muscles of the left shoulder girdle, but create a little bit of space between the elbow and the chest so that you have plenty of room to expand your breathing. If you find that your shoulder is becoming tense and creeping up, see if you can just relax it down. If either of the sides of your nose are very blocked up today, you can have both hands resting on your legs and imagine the breath moving primarily in and out through either side, so whichever side you're working on. Imagining is almost as effective as actually holding off the nostril, so that's fine as well. So you can bring your left hand up to Vishnu Mudra, close off your left nostril with your left thumb, completely empty the body of breath, pause, and then begin breathing in and out through the right side of the nose with your pauses resting near your boundary without pushing into them. So we expand belly, chest, and throat, breathing in. Pause and exhale, throat, chest, belly, completely emptying, and pause. See if you can absorb yourself in the doing of this, the feeling of it, and detach a little bit from your inner monologue, from any sort of narrative or judgment. How slowly can you breathe? How evenly? How relaxed? And what is it like in those pauses? Maybe you're glimpsing just a second or two of stillness, of peace. Or maybe the mind is rushing in to fill the space. It doesn't matter what you're experiencing, the magic is in the noticing of it, the witnessing. And once you've completed your 10 breaths, you can lower your left hand down. Relax all of your efforts so that your breathing returns to whatever its natural rhythm is. And let your natural breath release any tension from the shoulders, neck, jaw. Alternate nostril breathing is a great way to ease into a meditative practice, to ease into focusing the mind. And there are many different ways to carry out alternate nostril breathing practice. So this is just one example, and we'll carry on and do several other versions of it over the weeks. The last breath work or pranayama that we'll do today is kapilabati breath. And the reason that we're doing this as we talk about honoring our boundaries is because kapilabati helps activate the abdominal muscles a bit. And in yoga, we think of our solar plexus as being the home of willpower and empowerment. And often, in my experience anyway, when I'm not honoring my boundaries, it's actually because I'm not empowered to set boundaries for myself. So I'm in a mindset or a habit of pleasing other people, or I give my power away to other people who are determining where my own boundaries are. So in our flow class this week, we have worked on activating this part of ourselves in an effort to bring some awareness and attention onto our sort of personal sense of power. So kapilabati is a great way to do that in your breath practice as well. So we'll take 3 rounds of kapilabati breath. Another benefit of kapilabati is it can be quite clearing for the sinuses. So if you notice that one or the other side of your sinuses is feeling quite blocked, or maybe if you have a cold, kapilabati can also be a great practice to bring some clarity to the mind. So for kapilabati, we work with an active exhalation. So we're bringing our belly muscles in and up on the out breath, and then a passive inhalation. So we're letting the body relax to fill with breath again. Because we don't want to hyperventilate, we're just going to work with the top half of the lungs. So I'll give you a demonstration, and then we'll do 3 rounds of kapilabati breath, 20 breaths for each round together. So you can allow your hands to rest on your legs, and I'll demonstrate, so just have a look. We'll close our eyes, inhale completely, exhale halfway, and then active exhalation, passive inhalation. And we'll speed it up. So the speed that we'll do it together, I'll just demonstrate that. So we'll take that together, 3 rounds of 20 breaths each. If you're feeling lightheaded at all at any point, please just stop and rest, let your breath return back to normal. It's probably an indication that you're a bit too active with your in-breath as well. And I just hear some noise in the background, I'll let that pass. Okay, kapilabati. Close your eyes, let your hands rest on your legs, sitting up nice and tall with relaxed shoulders. Inhale. Exhale halfway, 20 kapilabati breaths. Exhaling. Inhale fully. Optional breath retention without any tension in the throat. Just pause at the top of the in-breath if you choose. If that creates strain in the body, let the breath go again. And when you're ready, exhaling. Take a few breaths without any effort, just natural breaths between rounds. Focus your attention either on your solar plexus or your sinuses and the center of your forehead. You might feel something happening in either or both of those locations. Okay, round 2. Close your eyes if they're open. Inhale fully. Exhaling halfway, and then kapilabati 20 times. Exhale completely, inhale fully, optional breath retention. Keeping the throat open. Whenever you're ready, exhaling. Focus on the solar plexus or the center of the forehead. And take a few rounds of natural breath. final round, just another reminder that we don't want to be hyperventilating at all. So if you feel that you're a little bit lightheaded or something doesn't feel right, you're welcome to just stop the practice. That's honoring your own boundaries. You can also work with a more shallow or less vigorous exhalation inhalation cycle. So you can play around with modifying your intensity of your kapilabati breath. Close your eyes. Breathe in fully. Breathing out halfway. 20 kapilabati. Exhaling. Inhale. Optional retention. And before the body feels strained, release the breath. Let the breath return to normal. Focusing on your solar plexus and or your forehead. Then let's all come to a relaxation posture, Shavasana, together. So coming off of whatever meditation seat you have and to lying on the floor. You're welcome to support yourself in any way that you need. So you might like to have a pillow under your head or bolster under your knees, maybe a blanket. Whatever you need. I'll stay upright because I'm going to talk you through. So you go ahead and lie down. And once you've found Shavasana, you can also have knees bent, feet on the floor if your low back is feeling vulnerable at all. And once you've found your Shavasana pose, focus again on the solar plexus and take a moment to make an intention for the rest of your week, or it might be for a longer time frame than that, maybe the rest of our COVID-19 shutdown, to honor some of your own boundaries. So to empower yourself to really listen to what you need. Because most of us know what we need to look after ourselves, and it's when we give away the power to set and keep our boundaries that those things fall apart. So in your mind's eye, visualize or repeat silently to yourself what the boundary is that you're planning to maintain and how you're going to do that. So you might visualize maybe where in your home you're going to carry out your self-care routine, or maybe who you'll ask for support to create some space for you. And commit really in your heart to doing that. And then let the mental effort of that visualization or affirmation, let that all go. And feel your body. Feel your body heavy on the floor. Let yourself relax. Let yourself do nothing for a few more minutes. And know that it's not doing nothing. It's actually giving yourself some attention, gathering up some energy, some resourcefulness from around you. recharging the batteries. So you might visualize a golden light entering your body from all directions and concentrating around your solar plexus. And then imagine you could direct that energy from your solar plexus, radiate it out through the rest of the body. So up through the torso into the head and face, down through the abdomen into the pelvis and legs and feet. From your torso, radiating that energy out into the arms and fingers. And then beyond the boundaries of the body, so that you become a source of energy. And you're most welcome to stay with that visualization, resting just as you are for as long as you have, as long as you'd like. If you'd like to shift back into the rest of your day, then maintaining some awareness on that golden light at your solar plexus. You can also become aware of the back of your body resting on the mat, the solidity of your form, and the boundaries between your body and the outside world. You can begin wiggling your fingers and toes, maybe doing some stretching that feels intuitive. And take your time to roll onto your favorite side for a few breaths, resting in a fetal position. And then use the help of your hands to come to sitting upright. Thank you all so much for joining this class, this pranayama and guided meditation class, and hopefully see you again soon. Namaste.